What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to take a look at the Battlefield 6 beta that just went live again today on August 14th, running on the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus with the Intel Core Ultra 200 series. And this isn't a video I planned on doing. I didn't bother with this last weekend, but I was messing around with it here on the Claw at 1200p and 800p with performance and quality XeSS at 30 watts, and was noticing some different things about performance and how a lot of the time it was actually much better than I anticipated that it would be, considering how 2042 ran and even sometimes newer Call of Duty games on here. So we'll get into it and take a little bit of a closer look at the performance. Again, I am using the 30 watt TDP here with the 37 on PL2, so we're not keeping back any performance, and you can get close to 2 hours on your battery this way. XeSS performance here, low latency is enabled. I did try disabled and enabled, made no difference for me as far as performance, and I left that on there. Most motion blur, weapon blur, all that's turned off. We're at 1200p for now. We are going to take a look at 800p though, because of course we are keeping things down to low and really just trying to get as much frame rate as possible, especially since we're in multiplayer beta here. And yeah, I kind of struggle with some of the gameplay when it comes to actual performance and holding this thing plugged into the capture card on the controller and all of that. But it was fun to run around and kind of look at the different performance on this map and on a smaller map later that we're going to take a look at. Now, this is just a snapshot of performance of this game running on here. Of course, there's more maps, modes, and all that kind of thing, but I still thought for the beta it was interesting to take a look at. When the game fully launches in October, I'll get a lot more into it. We'll look at the campaign, more multiplayer, more TDP options, and all of that. Now, if we go ahead and change this over to 800p, we'll go from those 40s or so up into the 50s or 60s and sometimes higher. What you'll notice throughout so far, though, is that we're very CPU bound most of the time when it comes to these bigger battles like in Conquest here, where we have a lot more players and a lot more going on. So whether I'm at 1200p or 800p, we still suffer from frame time issues due to that CPU bottleneck that's happening a lot of the time. Now, when I show you a smaller map game later, you'll see that some of that goes away and a lot of things smooth out and we get 10 to 20 FPS more. We'll take a look at that here in just a little bit, but that's 800p on XeSS performance there. Now, if we change this over to quality for the 800p, it's going to go down a little bit here. It's going to keep a little bit more pressure on the GPU than it was at performance, and it takes away a little bit of that bottlenecking here and there, but we're still pushing the cores on this chip, and we're still going to get some frame time issues and stuff that I don't get when we're on some smaller maps running with less people, less going on, and all of that. Still, though, it is running better than 2042 did, for me at least, when I last tried it on here. And I'm sure by the time this game fully comes out in October, not only will it be more optimized to run, but Intel should actually have drivers ready to go. They've been pretty good about that for the Core Ultra series, which should also help us here. They often are able to level out some of those frame time issues on this chip pretty well, a lot better than they were able to on the previous generation of their Core Ultra. Now, like I said, I did play a smaller round to see what would happen with that, and of course, like I said, we do get more FPS and better frame times here because there's just not as much going on in these smaller levels like a domination where we have less players. I think this is 12v12 or something on here versus, 64 player or more on those bigger maps. So ultimately this felt smoother and a lot better, frame times better, less CPU bottlenecking, all that kind of thing here. But yeah, ultimately I think for what it is here on the handheld, and hopefully performance will be even better when the game comes out, drivers and that type of thing, I think ultimately a lot of it will be playable, and we'll see how the campaign really goes when it comes to that running on these handhelds as well, especially here on the MSI Claw. This has been one of my favorite handhelds here this year in 2025. I still pick it up a lot and play it here in my personal time when I'm not just making videos and stuff. So this was a fun one to kind of check out. Again, not something I had planned, but able to go in and look at performance here. I just plugged it into the capture card real quick while I was playing and threw this together to kind of see how it was running, and then you guys can check it out, see what this beta is running like right now on the Claw. Anyways, guys, I think I'll pretty much leave it there. Plenty of room for improvement, but I was pretty surprised at how well a game like this was running on here. Anyways, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video as always. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.